Hi, I'm Stuart. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back. Thanks for viewing my video. This video I'm going to give my reading wrap up for the week of April 6th through April 12th. I didn't complete any books. I read part of a book I'd already started, and I started another book. I'm going to talk a little bit about those two books. I'm going to talk about my reading plans for the upcoming week. I'm going to talk about a Wobble I'm working on, and some other things in my life too. The book that I started previously and continue to read this week is How to Break Up With Your Phone by Catherine Price. The first half of this book talks about the impact of phones upon people. It admits there's some good parts to it too. So breaking up your phone is maybe a little bit not quite what the writer's recommending, but really cutting back a lot. And the second half of the book is a 30-day plan to break up with your phone. I've just gone through the first 4 days. First day is basically reasons you want to be on your phone less, like what you want to pay attention to more. The second day is to write a letter to break up with your phone, which sounds maybe kind of funny, but the phone has almost, for many of us, become almost like a friend or even a romantic partner. So writing a letter to how you're going to break up with your phone. And the third and fourth days are just becoming more aware of when you pick up your phone, how do you feel? When you put it back down, how do you feel? If you're you don't have it with you for a while, how do you feel? How do you feel other times when you're not using your phone? Just becoming aware of your phone usage. And also the author says something that I think is good. Generally, if you're advised to give something up, I think most people would counsel that if you had an impulse to use it or whatever, drink it, smoke it, whatever it was, pick up the phone, that you just kind of suppress that. But what she says is you acknowledge it, you see how it makes you feel, and you kind of ride through it. Like she said, kind of like a surfer with a wave. You don't suppress it, you just let it go through, and how does it make you feel? So because it's 30 days, I won't be completing this book too soon, but that's kind of where I am now on the book. The book I started this week is Say You Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. It is the April read for Booked and Busy, moderated by Jaime, at Jaime Fock on here. It is a romance, but there's a lot of depth to it. Both the two main characters, Xavier and Samantha, are dealing with a lot. Both have family issues. I do have some quibbles with the book, but overall I'm quite enjoying it. I am the majority of the way through. I was kind of hoping I would have it done so I could have reviewed it already, but I don't. But it's not because I'm not enjoying it. I am. Just in general, my reading, it was kind of a light week for me. Just those two books. Didn't read anything else. As far as my plans for the upcoming week, it's to finish Say You Remember Me, which I might finish it today actually. It's to start and read steadily Boy's Life by Robert McCammon. That is the April read for Fright Club, moderated by Cliff at Cliff's Dark Gems and Kritz at Kritz_reads. And it's to start and make steady progress on The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Tom Sawyer. That is the April read for I'm with the Band Book Club, moderated by MJ. Reading This Life at M-J on here. So those are my main plans for the upcoming week, to concentrate on my book club reads. There is one Wobble I'm working on. Actually, it's a pair, but it's tiny ice skates, which when I'm done should look kind of like this. I have the main part of the skates done, and the remainder I have to do is to create the blades and to attach them. Then I'll be done. I did watch the live streams of the Coachella Music Fest, the Friday evening, Saturday evening ones. I switched around between. They have 6 stages the first weekend, at least 6 stages they show, and I switched around between them. So did see some musical acts, some that I knew of and some that I didn't, but the ones that stood out for me were Lola Young, the Go-Go's, which people of my vintage may remember them. And Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day did a song with him, and it was kind of interesting because he was really happy doing it. It was kind of cool. Could get jaded. He'd been in the band for a long time, but it's nice to see somebody that still enjoys. Maybe possibly the Go-Go's were heroes of his when he was a kid. Sarah Landry was a DJ I never heard of before, but I thought she was really good. Lisa of Blackpink, I've mentioned her before as somebody I've listened to a lot lately. She had a really good set. Japanese Breakfast, another band I've mentioned more the lead singer Michelle Zauner in reference to Crying in H Mart, the book she did, which arguably has made her more famous in the band, but saw her set. Well, the band set. It's her band, but the band set. Band I never heard of before called Blonde Redhead. And Charlie XCX had a really good set. She had, 3 really good guests, Troye Sivan, Lorde, and Billie Eilish. She was just performed with just recorded backing, which normally is kind of a drawback for me, but she has so much energy and was so good. I didn't notice it once she got a little ways into her set. So going to be watching more of that tonight and also next weekend, their second weekend. Only drawback is it's from California, so it's 3 hours behind me, so you can't see the latest acts because I'm not willing to stay up that late. One thing I forgot to mention is I have a medical update here, and I forgot to mention that in my introduction. I will, however, put text on the bottom of the screen, so if you don't want to read that, if you don't want to watch that, you don't have to. I'll put text when it starts, and I'll remove the text when it ends. But going back a little, I've talked about this in my previous videos, but back in 2019, I got diagnosed with prostate cancer. Had a robotic prostatectomy to remove the prostate, and after that, the PSA, which is prostate-specific antigen, that's a measurement they use to determine if you have prostate cancer. It used to be like the digital exam, but now more than anything they rely upon the PSA. And after you get the prostate removed, the PSA is supposed to be negligible. And for the first several years, the PSA was negligible, but then when I got it measured 6 months ago, it was 0.1, which wasn't a lot, but it's supposed to be less than or equal to 0.15. So when I talked to my doctor then on a telemedicine appointment, he said, don't worry about it, but we'll get you tested in 6 months, and then if it's still where it shouldn't be, we'll discuss further remedies. Of course, doctor says don't worry about it, you worry about it. But I really didn't until I approached the blood test, which I got a couple weeks ago. I was hesitant, of course, to look at it, but I steeled my nerve and did. And it was back less than or equal to 0.15. And last week I had my telemedicine appointment with my doctor. And I figured since the blood test was okay again, everything would be all right. And it is. I don't have to see him for another year, which I'm happy about. The only thing that he did alert me to, which I wasn't aware of, apparently insurance companies are not, in the U.S., I don't know what they are worldwide, but in the U.S., they're not going to be paying for telemedicine appointments before, so we'll have to go in to see him. I actually prefer that, though, because I just feel better about, in something like that, talking to somebody face-to-face than over the phone. So my next one, which will be a year, but I'll have to go see him. Another really good thing that happened is that last weekend was the women's NCAA basketball Final Four. The local team that I'm a fan of, the UConn women's basketball team, was in it. They won their semifinal Friday by handy margin, and then on Sunday they won the championship by handy margin, which was really exciting. It was their 12th championship, so they've had a lot of them, but they didn't have any since 2016. And sometimes you start to wonder if maybe it's over, but it wasn't. So that was very exciting to see. So I recorded this, which is Sunday, April 13th, about 12:45. Shortly they're going to have a parade for him in Hartford, Connecticut, which will be televised. So that was kind of something that really cool that happened. Very exciting. I'd be interested in knowing how your reading week went. Did you have any books you'd like to recommend? Some books you didn't? Any other things you go in your life? If you're interested in letting me know, please reply in the comments. I hope you have a wonderful reading week, and I hope you have a wonderful reading week, and I hope you have a wonderful week in general. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, please subscribe, please hit the bell to get notified when I upload future videos.